Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Blaine and Brooks here for the 12th Man podcast. We took the last couple of weeks off because we were traveling from outside of our traditional habitat. Brooks was in Paris. I was in Carmen del Playa. Brooks is still in Paris, but the show must go on. We're going to pick... The show must go on. So today we're going to pick up where we left off and talk about what's going on the East Coast, Northeast Coast of England, the Geordie Shore, Newcastle. The Saudi takeover has finally happened, and people are pissed. And I'm not really sure why. So, Brooks, let's jump straight into it and figure out why are people so mad about the Saudi takeover? What does this mean for football in Britain? What does it mean for football in Europe, worldwide? And will Newcastle actually end up being a real contender in the Premier League and eventually Europe in the next 3 to 5 seasons? What do you think? I mean, don't answer them all at once. Let's start at the top.
Well, first of all, are you pissed?
No.
Yeah, same.
Absolutely not. Not pissed at all. I'm happy, man. I'm all those boys and girls in Newcastle that just it's like your parents got divorced and one of them just married a billionaire. You're getting everything you want for Christmas.
Yeah, because to be honest, Newcastle is a very big fan base. They are great fans. They love their club.
Yeah.
They're super loyal. So, I don't know. I think that the only people that I don't know who's pissed. I know that people are pissed. I don't think the only reason was because you are upset that, your mom didn't marry the millionaire or whatever.
Exactly. You're mad because you didn't get chose.
Yeah, exactly. So, on that note, I think, we've talked about this a little bit. I'm a little confused as to why Newcastle of all places. Brentford is available. QPR is available. I mean, available. Anyone. If you got that much money, anyone's available. They have more money than any other owners in world football, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't really know why of all. No offense to Newcastle. I'm sorry if this comes off the wrong way to people that live on the Northeast Coast. I love, London. I'm a big fan of cities in general. From Los Angeles, live in New York, currently in Paris. I love cities. So, to me, I would probably prefer to be in a bigger city. But, they have their reasons. And I hope that I'm sure Alan Shearer is super excited about this takeover. Maybe we're going to see them challenging for the top spots. I do think that with that amount of money, if they have the same ambition as these other Saudi Arabian owners that have bought football clubs, they're going to be challenging for the top 4 in no time at all. New coach, new players. It's going to be a kind of a complete makeover. These things do take a little bit of time. We've seen it with PSG, but it doesn't take much time to buy the best players. We saw that when China got all the money the last few years. They picked up Oscar, they picked up Hulk, they picked up Carlos Tevez. It's the money will bring players in. I just think that they need to find a coach that knows what type of system they want to run, that can stay there a few years, knows what kind of players they want to bring in, that can fit that system. And, if they can do all that right, I think that, they'll have no problem challenging soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and granted, Newcastle is one off the bottom of the Premier League right now at, 19th in the league. But they have some good guys on their team, or at least one good guy.
Who's that one good guy?
The French
guy,
Alan Saint-Maximin.
That guy is great. And I mean, Joe Willock, I'll give him something from coming from Arsenal.
Okay, yeah, shout out to Joe. Callum Wilson. I mean, they play in the Premier League.
The Brazilian who can't score goals, though, that was a money not well spent, in my opinion.
Who is that?
What's his name? The striker.
Joe Ellington?
Joe Ellington, dude.
Is that him? Is he Brazilian?
Joe Willock came on 6 months and put more goals in than that guy's done in 2 years. I feel 40 plus million for him.
Okay, I'll be honest. I had no idea Joe Ellington was Brazilian. That's because he wasn't scoring goals, so I would have never made the correlation.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Yeah, so I mean they got some scrubs, but they got at least, let's say, 3 or 4 guys on the team that it's like when City had the takeover, they had some guys in the squad that remained, Vincent Kompany, I think, was there before the takeover. I mean, I can't think of anyone else, to be honest, but I mean,
Kuhn came pretty quickly after Kuhn came for that money. As soon as that,
I think it was Kuhn and Yaya that were the first on that money boat. He's like came over from Madrid
Yeah.
and Barcelona. Just looking. He said, "How much?
Kun
How
said,
much
"Let me
is
sign this
this?"
Puma deal, and I'll be right over to City in no time."
Make no mistake. But yeah, so I think they got a good place to start with some of those guys.
Yeah,
Like you
but I
said,
mean, at
sort of
that much
coach out.
money, they could clean house and sign everyone new. They really don't need to keep anyone on that squad right now. But who knows? I don't know. Are they going to get started in January? Are they going to wait till summer? What's the word on the street right now? They're firing their coach,
So I
right?
feel like they have to. I feel like they got to get a coach, and they have to make a statement signing on January. Like I'm talking January 1st. They gotta. They gotta like
12:01.
say like, yep, like we signed. I mean, someone like I've heard Raheem Sterling's name floated.
Really?
Um, Rumors are he's not happy at Man City. I've heard his name floated. I've heard that's probably the only real name that I've heard, to be honest. I don't know. I
I've
mean, just speculating.
Yeah, I've only
No.
heard people talking like, Bleacher Report or 433, these Instagram posts put up, the jokes about the first few signings as literally the PSG squad. But yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know who's going to be the first signing. I would imagine an English player though. That's going to be my take on it is that their first signing will be a player who's English, probably already playing in the Premier League. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say I also heard like Lacazette's name floated.
really,
Um, but he already said he's leaving Arsenal at the end of the season, right?
why he doesn't get more playing time is beyond me.
Every week he doesn't start. I'm confused. I'm like, he consistently gets
They
goals.
bring him off the bench and he
But
scores. Yeah, I don't know what else they want. Great hold up play, scores goals, makes the right passes, moves well off the ball. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, not to change the subject, but in the last few weeks, Mikel Arteta has looked like he knows what he's doing with Arsenal, but it's taken over a year to get
yeah,
to what I've liked to see in 4 weeks. So
back to Newcastle.
sorry.
This we ain't talking about no Gunners today unless they're going to Newcastle. So Lacazette, you are now wearing black and white with the gold trim. So here's the curious thing. So you're not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. I feel like a lot of people are excited. Like you said, Man City, they got money. Roman Abramovich brought money to Chelsea. There's a lot of clubs whose owners do have lots of money but they
They
don't
don't.
spend.
Yeah, Arsenal is one of those.
Insert Arsenal. Can't really say the same thing about Man U. I feel like Man U's painted a picture of themselves that they don't spend, but then you go and look at their transfer
Yeah.
history and it's like they do spend, they just don't spend
They
well.
don't spend well, and they don't spend well. They don't buy aside from Pogba, they don't buy high profile names. They get some good frees, Ibra, Cavani, but yeah, they don't really spend well. I would say aside from Pogba.
Yeah, like Danny Van de Beek
Man, come on.
played like 13 games and out of, he could have appeared now like 150 times. But, maybe he'll go to Newcastle. The field is white or ripe or whatever the saying is. But people are mad and they're saying like, oh yeah, like this is destroying
Yeah,
football. This is going to
right.
destroy the game. And I honestly don't. I can't for the life of me understand where that argument or sentiment comes from. I don't see this doing anything but furthering the game and bringing joy to a city that frankly is full of fans that don't deserve to be, suffering through this much hardship after the player with the most goals in the history of the league played for your club.
Totally. Yeah,
Like you deserve slightly better than what you have, at least.
yeah. They're a great fan base. They are super loyal to their club, and yeah, they've had they are. I don't know how to say this properly. They are the owner of the most player with the most goals in EPL history. Like you deserve more than to be last place and relegated a few years ago and then brought back up and relegated and then brought back up. Like it's been too much. They definitely deserve to be in a better position than they're in currently. So I think obviously this will help them, but Yeah, Newcastle's been through some rough times lately, and I remember I think it was like 2011. I was asking one of my friends, I'm like, "Who's your club?" And he said Newcastle. I said Newcastle.
Was it Matt?
Yeah, 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 Matt.
Dude, he put on for
He
Newcastle. I
put
still
on, he
don't
had
know
the jersey
why.
and everything,
I
but
still don't know why.
I know I'm like, well, how long of a fan have you been of Newcastle? So like, were you like, I don't know. So one of the things I will say is these people that are upset about the takeover are older. Um, I guess you would say purists of the English game, not of football, of the English game. But like, if you're really like a purist, then you should have been out of the English game when the Premier League came, because that's when all the money started to really come to it. You know,
Yeah, it's owned by a bank, Barclay.
I mean, come on. So I don't really know what to say there. Also, like, why weren't you this mad about City? Why weren't you this mad about when like Americans came in and bought the club? Like, what? Why are you mad? They to kind of just play off your point a little bit. All they're going to do is buy great players, bring them to the Premier League, bring them to Newcastle, and they're gonna probably make the most exciting league in the world more exciting. Who's gonna? I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see some Newcastle talent going up against the best teams in England, and probably potentially winning against those teams. So,
Yeah.
it's only going to make it more exciting, I think.
Well, and to piggyback off that, I mean, so you think of it from a sporting standpoint. Okay, there's now another competitive team in the league that's about to get a sponsorship from Nike or Adidas and get 4 kits per season and all this revenue for. I mean, that's from a sporting standpoint. But think about the city of Newcastle. Okay, now you have superstars in your city. You have more tourism in your city.
Yeah.
They're going to build state-of-the-art training facilities and
Yep.
invest in local development and find some local kid that can be a star, and more jobs. They're basically going to turn Newcastle into, like, I guess in America, like what Austin was probably 20 years ago, from just like this small town that like isn't known for a whole lot, into now it's like one of the favorite cities in the States. So like Newcastle, I mean, I've never been to Newcastle either, but this will only make it a better place and a more desired place to go, like a destination, instead of just like, oh yeah, like we're going through Newcastle, we're gonna spend the night and keep going north because we're on our way to, like, Scotland or wherever. I don't know.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, because this will do, I mean, if done well, which obviously I think it will be done well, it'll do really well for the city of Newcastle and the people of Newcastle. It will bump up the economy. One of the things that Vincent Kompany said, actually, when he talks about when he was leaving Man City, he was talking about, he had been there through the entire transition. He was there before City was City. And he was like, I saw these, I was there when we didn't have these facilities and we barely had a shower. Like, there was like one door on the shower stalls. Like, it was literally a dump. And now, we've got these incredible world-class facilities, probably, if not the best, one of the best in the world, to train, to shower, to sleep, to eat, training coaches, nutrition coaches. Like, it's done wonders for Manchester in and of itself. I mean, even when Ronaldo was there at, across whatever, at Man United, there were jokes about Manchester being kind of like a dumping ground. But, since these teams have started to perform better, namely Manchester City, it's really become a way better, bigger, cooler, growing city. Grace was there a couple of years ago, loved Manchester. So, I think that pumping money into these clubs, into these cities that aren't a London or a Paris, does really good for the people and the city itself. So I don't know what people have to be extremely mad about. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, what do you expect? Like, it's the world sport. I get it's the poor man's sport, but it isn't anymore. We've been paying $300 for cleats for 10 years. We've been paying $200 for a ball for 20 years. Like, it is what it is at this point. I'm sorry. Like, it kind of hurts that all of that costs so much, but I don't know. I mean, if you're really upset about it, what are you doing for grassroots? What are you doing for these lower leagues? You're mad that someone's buying your club that's in 19th place right now? Like, you couldn't ask for something better for football, I don't think.
Yeah, like these guys, these Saudi guys, are essentially saving a community.
You're right.
Like, whether regular teams, like you get relegated, like there goes half the payroll.
Yeah.
We got to sell off half the players just so we can meet, make it to the end of the next year.
Yeah.
These guys come in by your team. If by some reason you still get relegated, they're just going to double down.
You're right.
They're not going to turn the lights off. They're not
Yeah.
going to cut the water off. They're like, we didn't come and buy this club for how many ever, like 300-400 million just to see you guys go under. Like we want to be a force here, and we're gonna invest until we get what we want. Because if not, I mean, they're proud people.
Yeah.
It would be embarrassing. They don't want to be embarrassed.
No.
It's not like when Americans buy a club and it's an investment. As long as we make 5% every year, we're happy.
Right.
No, these Saudi guys, they come in, they buy these Russians. They come in, they buy for one reason. They got more. They got FU money, and they want to come through and embarrass somebody.
Yeah.
They want to come through and win. They want trophies. They want superstars. It's almost like a game to them. It's like they're playing Monopoly with real money, and there's no losers. There's no losers in that situation. Okay, you're a grassroots football club raising the next Dele Alli. You know what? They're gonna just slide you $30 million to bring them up at 17 with zero hesitation.
Yeah.
And now you get to eat for the next 6 years, and keep doing your grassroots things. I can't wrap my head around why anybody would be upset at this, unless you're a top club and they're about to knock you off your spot. That's going to force you.
Yeah. What, are United fans pissed? Are Arsenal fans pissed?
Yeah.
Are Chelsea fans upset? You're just a little bit jealous at this point. And I get it. Totally. Yeah, another club that's you've never had to care about and never had to worry about since probably you've been watching football, because you haven't watched it since Alan Shearer days. That's what you're upset about. You're upset that now this club called Newcastle, who you never cared about, never worried about, is going to come for you. And, that's good for the game, I think. But like you said, like the Saudi owners, it's almost like in America, it's like you buy a car to be like better than the next guy. You race them on the street. These guys buy clubs and they try to beat their their counterparts of their Paris or city to kind of prove that they're better. So I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'm excited to see it. Also, it feels good when you can beat City or you can beat Paris. What are you saying?
Yeah. So just other things. So also the same ownership groups have been what's his name? Mohammed bin Salman Mohammed, whatever. The guy, his family, they're also, word on the street is they're also going to buy Inter Milan.
Wait, they?
Yeah. Because City owns New York City FC. They own Adelaide FC. They own Manchester City. And I think they own 3 or 4 clubs.
You're right.
Red Bull. New York Red Bulls, RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, or whatever. So, I mean, I read somewhere, and this could just be fan service, but I read somewhere that they are also very interested in buying Inter Milan from the Chinese. And I promise you, if they do that, I will shoot through the roof. I will be so happy. I will be so happy if they buy Inter Milan. Can you imagine? Okay, we're not talking about that. That's speculation, but...
That's good to bring up. I haven't heard that. So, I mean, I know
they're hedging their bets.
Dang.
They're like, we're going to win one way or another. We got 2 clubs. We're going to shuffle things around, and someone's going to win a Champions League in the next 5 seasons.
I mean, yeah, I would imagine Inter to be the one. But buying 2 of them, that would be... Newcastle's a pretty historic club. Inter, obviously, that would be incredible. But, I don't know, you brought up a good point about the relegated clubs nearly being lost forever, which has happened in the past, which nearly happened to Crystal Palace, which is probably going to happen to Stoke or Sunderland. These are clubs that were established the Premier League, were there for a long time, went down below, haven't been able to make Stoke and Sunderland. They haven't been back since they've been relegated. I think Norwich is. I feel bad for Norwich because every year they're in the Premier League. Then they're down. Then it's just so sad.
Just a rotating door between the 2 leagues. Yeah.
If you
it's they're not good enough for the Prem, but too good for the Championship.
Exactly. What's it? Ted Lasso's club.
Oh yeah, Richmond.
Richmond. Richmond.
Shout out to Richmond.
All right, we have to get a Believe hoodie. So yeah, I think it's good. If I was a Newcastle fan, man, I would be so happy.
I'd be over the moon.
Even if I was,
I'd be talking.
go ahead.
Go. No, I was gonna say I'd be beating my chest and talking so much trash on the internet.
Yeah, if I
It's
wasn't,
like, yo, like my big brother's coming. He's gonna beat the crap out of all you. Just wait. Just wait. Next season's gonna be different.
if I didn't already have season tickets to Newcastle and I lived in the area, that would be my first order of business as just a fan or as a someone who lives in the area, because you're going to be getting paid to go to sell those, or you're going to be seeing some really great games if you end up going to all those.
Yep. And you get to go to 22 of them, or how many ever.
It's like,
or 24.
Yeah, I tried to get PSG season tickets, like, I think I told you, like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Well, I don't know what it was, and there was already a wait list. So I don't know how it is in Newcastle, but most of the Premier League teams, there is a wait list, but I don't know how it is for Newcastle. But you should get on that now if you're a fan.
Dude, because it's gonna be tough. And I mean, I don't like. It's St. James Park, right? I don't even know how many people St. James can fit.
It can fit like 52,000.
Oh wow, yikes! Well, I mean, that's borderline a lot. Like, I feel like, if it's more than 40, it's not like, Spanish giants that have like 80 to 100,000 guys. Like, it's not the Wanda Metropolitano or Santiago Bernabeu.
I feel like that's more than Chelsea's stadium can fit. Am I wrong?
Bro, Chelsea's like, I want to say 44.
30. Yeah, I didn't think
it might be 34, dude. It's a small bridge is small, dude. It's always a hassle getting seats there.
But that's cool. I've never been there, but I hear that's one of the best places to watch a game, even though it is Chelsea.
I mean, I guess I'm biased. I've enjoyed every home game that I've been to, but I didn't enjoy, like, it wasn't like when I go to Barcelona, it's like I can just buy a ticket and walk into the stadium, it's not easy. And I guess I like things in life to be a little bit easier when it comes to seeing a team I want.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's always a process. Like, even on the scalper sites, it's like, yo, like, you can either give us like 500 USD for a ticket, or you gotta like wait for someone to like put it up and then it's gone in like a second. So you just gotta be like a hawk on the Anyway, Newcastle. Happy for Newcastle. Newcastle fans, if you're watching, we're very excited to see what this brings to the city, what it brings to the club. I'm really anxious to see who they sign. I've heard rumors of Raheem Sterling. Not sure if those are real or not, but January. I hope they make like 3 or 4 signings and then like go hard in the summer and sign like just like total like 11 all new players. Some for the bench, and then like 9 of them are starters. But
because listen, if they get some great players, you will catch me in Newcastle within the next few months. There's never been a reason for me to head up to Newcastle, but if they get, Raheem Sterling, or if they start signing some big names, like, that's gonna bring tourism.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I mean, and if you think that, I mean, St. James, you said St. James holds 44 or 50
52.
or 52.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna renovate. They're gonna make it a bigger stadium at some point. But I mean, other clubs, man, the other cool thing about this is it puts pressure on like clubs like Tottenham, Everton, Leicester City. I hate to say it, Arsenal, like these teams that are like all kind of like fighting for those other spots
like
outside of the top 4.
6 type clubs. You're right.
Yeah. It's like this is putting pressure on everybody. And the sad thing is, if you look at the chart, like, they have so much more money than the richest club.
It's unbelievable.
It's like the richest clubs are in like tens of billions. They have, I think it's 320 billion. I could be wrong. The number's crazy though.
Yeah, no, it's
like, obviously they can't spend it all, but
unless they think of a way to. What'll be tough for them, I guess, is financial fair play, right? Because of how low their wage bill's probably been the last forever, I guess.
Well, I guess we should look into it, because I know like there's like the financial fair play to like participate in like Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, but I think there's a big gap between what those rules are and what the rules are just to participate in the Premier League.
Okay.
Or even more so to a lesser extent to participate in the championship. So a strategy might be, okay, we get relegated to the championship, spend crazy money, get all the players we want, have a foundation, come back into the Premier League, like after spending like 550 million in the course of 12 months. And then it's like, different league, different rules, and now, take us as we come.
Do you think that's the move?
I think you can do it in the Premier League, because I think the way City was able to do it is like they made those purchases before they were a top 4 team. So I think, and maybe the rules were different back then in like the early 2000s to where it's like, if you want to go out and spend 300 million, knowing that you haven't, made any real revenue, and, but I mean, I don't know. This is all like speculation again. I don't know, but I hope they can spend several hundreds of millions of dollars between now and the end of the season.
Yeah.
So,
but the bottom line is, congrats to the Newcastle fans. We know Mike Ashley was a hated figure amongst
they hate him.
Every one of you.
They hate him.
And I just actually read this. So it says the club is the 17th highest revenue producing club in the world in terms of annual revenue. 17th? That's pretty incredible for a club that's barely staying up in the EPL.
Shout out to the fans.
So maybe
fans will see coming there buying.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about their fan base being great. We also talked about, I said it, and again, I don't mean to offend anyone, but I was like, I would probably bought Brentford or someone like in a London area, but 17th highest in world football. That's pretty good.
That's crazy. Yeah. Considering, like, look at, like, I mean, that's worldwide. Yeah, that's a stat I would have never expected Newcastle to be. Like, you think like top 6 clubs in Europe or in England, then you think of like all the like Champions League teams.
Right.
Then you think about some of the big market teams in South America.
Right.
That in their own respect do amazingly.
Which, can we just real quick talk about Erling Haaland always wearing a Boca jersey? Do we want to save that for another time, or do you want to talk about that?
I'll be honest, I never noticed Erling Haaland was always wearing a Boca jersey.
Really?
I didn't know.
I mean, I've seen it probably 3 times on his Instagram now. I'm not going to throw out any rumors, but I will say he's a Nike athlete playing in Germany, but he's willingly choosing to buy an Adidas jersey from Boca. Maybe he goes to Boca.
You'll put on your tinfoil hats. Oh wow! Okay, there he is. He's rocking that Boca jersey.
It's been a couple times. That was a recent one, but he has an older one too. I mean, he's and it's always like the newer one, the Adidas one, which is interesting. But anyway, I don't know if he's trying to send a message or if he's just a huge Boca fan. Who watches Boca? Aside from me, I don't know anyone else in like the Northern Hemisphere that watches a Boca Juniors game.
Nah, dude, I got one friend on my soccer team that watches the Bocas, and occasionally he'll pull up to practice wearing a Boca's junior jersey, but it's like an old one, like a Nike one.
I only have Nike ones.
2012.
Is he Argentine?
So, no. He served a mission.
Got it. See? Who watches Boca games? Who knows them? I mean, I was walking down the streets today. I was in Saint Germain. I saw this guy and this girl. Dude has a cup in his hand and a big thermos like this. And I said,
you know what he's doing.
And he said, he was actually from Uruguay. But it was cool. So I chatted with an Uruguayan in Paris, which is cool. He was drinking mate. He showed me up. But yeah, it was cool.
Dope.
Shout out to all the mate drinkers out there.
Yes, indeed. Don't forget to go to abrazomate.com and order yours today. Anyway, so I mean, do we want to talk about anything else, Brooks? I mean,
how long is this
speculation? Erling Haaland to Boca's Junior. Congrats to Newcastle. Congrats to the French national team on winning the second UEFA Conference or UEFA Nations League, whatever.
Friendly trophy.
Friendly trophy with the offside goal. allowed because of a questionable rule that puts defenders at a massive disadvantage.
Yeah, so real quick explain that because you and I were texting and I was like, this will be pulled back. He was like it's like a meter offside.
Yeah, dude. So when we were texting it, they run it back. They show the like the view, but they don't put the lines up. But the goal stands. So like I was like, oh, I bet somebody else was holding him on side, and they just weren't in the camera view. Then I watched the free play again from like the field view. He's clearly offside.
Right?
After the
I was
game,
like,
they're
maybe it's
like,
the angle, but no, he was offside, right? Like it.
no, he was unquestionably offside. And then the explanation comes in, and they're like, oh yeah, so yeah, he was offside, but Eric Garcia made a play at the through ball,
But he didn't
and
touch it. Sorry.
but he made a play on it, and apparently, based off the rule, if you make a play on the ball, it's just as good as touching it. And if a player is in an offside position, it's the equivalent of you doing a back pass and it being intercepted from a guy that just ran out from the corner flag and bada boom, bada bing.
So
Mbappe
is that a new
scores.
rule? Because that's not. It's got to be somewhat of a new rule.
I mean, I didn't go to the FIFA handbook, but based off of like everything that I saw and read, it has to be like a rule. Let's say it was like it's less than 2 years old, because like no one knew. Like the only people that knew the rule were the guys in the VAR box. Like the on-field refs weren't sure; they were getting the conversation. Neither manager knew whether or not the goal was gonna stand. Mbappe didn't know if he was onside or not, but Eric Garcia certainly knew he was offside, and he was like, "There's no reason. Like I didn't touch the ball." So I feel like it definitely had to be a new rule to the point where like no one besides the VARs knew the rule.
So
No coach.
yeah, I just read just now. It said that he touched the ball according to VAR. I didn't see him touch the ball, but according to this article on shady ESPN FC, which I don't really trust much of what they say, because they're corny, but they said that had he completely missed the ball, then it would be offside. But it said that he made contact with the ball, which I didn't see contact made with that ball, but I'm not VAR, so everyone in the entire world except for the blindfolded refs in the VAR room saw him touch the ball, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't. I definitely. I mean, the language I kept seeing was make an attempt for the ball, which made me feel like everyone was conceding. Yeah, he definitely did not touch the ball. He just tried to. It's like in the same way that you would get a red card if you tried to punch someone in the face, but you missed. But ESPN says he touched it. My stance is he didn't touch the ball. Rules are going to be rules in this day and age, and if there's that rule, obviously the goal was given. The goal is good. They're not going to make a mistake. But I think whoever made that rule, I mean, I would question whether or not they've ever played football competitively.
Yeah.
They definitely never played in a defensive position because I mean, I understand giving the attacker, the benefit of the doubt because obviously this is entertainment. People want goals. People want to see their team win games or even lose games. No one really wants to see a draw, but I mean, come on, like you're putting a defender in a position where it's like, okay, do I go for the ball or not? If I go for the ball and miss it. If I go for the ball, like say I try to like slide and clear ball and I don't get to the ball, and now I'm like upstream without a paddle because now the attacker can just jump over me and basically just be in an offside position poaching and wait for me to like pat. Like at this point you could just like sit in the goalkeeper's box and wait for someone to do a back pass to the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny that you said because so there's a quote from Eric Garcia and it says, "It was clearly offside. The referee told me that I tried to play the ball. What should I do? Step aside and let him run? Apparently this is the rule." So yeah, I mean that's so obviously there's a tactic. The tactic is you try to force a man offside especially in 2 years and older, I guess, it was super like hard to make sure that you were going to get the right call because there was no VAR. They didn't let the they didn't let the play run until, it was tested by or seen by someone else, and then you raise the flag 20 minutes later. So yeah, that's a super weird that they didn't, like, they said, okay, you tried to play the ball. You tried to play the ball, so like that's what made him not offside. It's I don't know, that seems really incredibly wrong and off to me, but hey, evidently that is the rule. So yeah, don't try to play the ball anymore. Just let it go and hope that they call offside, and hopefully VAR does its job. It's just interesting because I just think that they're relying on VAR too much to the point of even when the linesman does know that it's offside, he has to let them keep playing to see what happens. And the rule or the big talk about that, or the concern about that, is like, well, what if so and so gets hurt?
The injury is my biggest concern. Yeah.
That's just playing with fire. But I don't know. What I will say is that they're pretty good at going back to the drawing board, albeit a year too late, and saying, okay, like we should probably rewrite this one a bit and fix this or whatever. But yeah, they're kind of just playing with fire a little bit. I think that it's a little dangerous. But I'm only here in France on an iPhone recording.
Yeah.
With my,
So exactly. No red cameras.
Right.
No real tech. No, we don't know anything. But I think we can all agree that Garcia didn't touch the ball, and it's a bogus rule.
It is a bogus rule. Glad I was able to see it here in France. However, no one cared. Acted like on the streets of France the next day. It was nothing happened. It was no one cared.
Well, and that's the silver lining is like, thank goodness this happened in a game that literally no one cares about.
Doesn't matter.
God forbid it's a World Cup qualifier for a team that really needs the points or a decision. To a much greater extent, not a World Cup game. Like, can you imagine this happening in a knockout stage? No. Like, heads would roll.
Yeah.
Like, I want France to win it, and I would still be mad. Like, that's just
Same.
Like, that's like the cheesiest thing. That's so cheesy.
Yeah.
And like, I don't blame Mbappé. I don't blame the French team. I blame the governing body that whoever put that rule in should resign.
Yeah. You tried to play it. You tried to do your job. You tried to play defense.
You made an attempt at the ball. You didn't even get I hate if ESPN said that he touched. We all saw this. We watched this thing. He didn't touch the ball.
If he touched the ball, it wouldn't have been a perfect pass to Mbappe's feet if he touched the ball.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting.
Cool.
Last thing, I don't know. So, real quick, I don't know if this is something we should bring up, or maybe we cut this into different pieces, but did you hear Mbappe saying that he didn't feel supported enough when he missed the PK in the Euros?
Dude, I'll be honest, I kind of let that drama go. I know there was drama around it. I didn't hear that part.
Okay. I only heard that. I don't know what else was said, but I just heard him saying, I wasn't supported enough by the team. I'm like, dude, like, what do you want? I mean, everyone is upset.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course, like, you want to feel supported and, like, it's okay. But in the heat of the moment when you essentially not let down, but kind of let down your teammates. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to, I don't know, come back and be like, it's okay, we'll get them next time. Like, yeah, this is, whatever.
Well, I think Karim Benzema, to a certain degree, did finally do that.
That's why Mbappe took the PK a couple nights ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it Belgium?
Yeah. Against Belgium.
Yeah. Benzema gave him the ball and was like, okay, I think we can finally put this behind us.
Put this away. You take this PK, you're going to be the man right now.
Yeah. Which, my hat's off to Benzema.
Dude.
Benzema, Benzema's the man.
Him coming back to the team has been... Olivier.
I love Karim Benzema.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. dude. I mean, the reality is, okay, and then we're going to wrap this up. The reality is I'm a huge French fan.
Same.
I love Benzema. I love Mbappé. I love the whole team. I would love to see them repeat. Like, I like Belgium. It's clear to me that they don't have the depth to do anything.
Right.
Like, the tournaments and the way these games are being played and the congested schedule, they don't have the depth. I'd love to see Karim Benzema and the French national team bring home another World Cup trophy.
I'm with you.
I don't think anyone else can do it.
No,
I'm just being honest.
I mean, listen, like, aside from that Euros, they were up, what, 2-1 or 2-0 again? What was it, 3 against Sweden? I mean, against Switzerland. They had no reason to lose that game. They had no business losing that game. Honestly, they could have and should have won the Euros. But I think that they can win the World Cup again in 2022.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I mean...
It's just they're so deep. They don't have...
It's the depth. Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to have Giroud. They're not going to have... man, I'm losing everyone's name. The defender that plays for Barcelona who was scoring game-winning goals, headers, in the World Cup in 2018. Who's not being played by Barcelona? What's his name?
For a French guy?
Yeah.
Oh, Sam, my man Samuel
Umtiti's
Umtiti.
not playing. You know, they're all these guys that are just not even making it to the, backup squad.
There's guys that aren't even at the camp. Yeah.
And they're still incredible. France
and
has
then, like,
so
you
much
got,
depth.
And they got young guys that haven't even capped for the squad yet that are still like playing in like top 5 leagues and like Champions League squads. Like, you got guys playing in the French league, winning championships with Lille that,
Right.
Deschamps isn't even thinking about that could step up and do a job for you, need be. My man Dembele hasn't played for the better part of the year because he's injured, but if they take him to Qatar, he can come in off the bench and score you a hat trick if he wanted to. He'll play for his country if Benzema tells him he loves him too, he'll play for him.
Yep.
These boys just need a little bit of love. And then Griezmann, he plays well for France, and he didn't even play good this last international break.
He hasn't had a good break. Yeah.
He didn't have a good break, but he still played.
Yeah. No, anyway. I mean, because for France, like, he always comes through. Even if he's not playing well, he's still kind of a spark that they need on the field.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's the point I'm making.
And that new kid, number 8 right now? Who is that kid? First international cap? Goodness sakes. Can't even say his name, but I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah,
dude, like a few times I thought I thought he was somebody else, and I'm like, I felt embarrassed because I was like, yo, like, he's a ball, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even know who that is. I was like, is that Thomas Lamar?
Yeah,
no, it's not Thomas Lamar.
Who also doesn't even get into the squad.
Bro, it really runs that deep. It really runs that deep.
They needed to get a better goalkeeper.
He's a scrub. Put my man Mandana. What's his name? Mandana, the Olympic Marseille goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And the name's
all right,
Steve,
bro. Let's call it.
All right, we're good.
No, let's call it. We're at about 45 minutes. The new format, I think we decided we want to do about 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you may break this up into France being a second one.
Even better. Cool.
Let's wrap it.
Well, all right. Well, guys, it's been real. Thanks for hanging out with us on the 12th Man Podcast. We'll catch you next week. Peace.